Laker family, it's your boy DTLF back with another post-game recap, man, as the Lakers get demolished and absolutely destroyed by the San Antonio Spurs without Wemby. So this is a very tough one to stomach, but realistically, it exposes some things for sure. We're going to talk about all of that. We're talking about the game and all of that. We're already running with the narratives here. I see my guy said Rich Paul and LeBron just murdered the chemistry of the squad. It's funny because we were joking about that earlier on the stream over there on Playback. And I'll tell you, man, it's a sad way to go out today. We're not going to play for the next, 8 days. We don't play till December 18th. So it sucks, man. Not only do we get eliminated from the tournament, the final game I got to cover on Playback, but now, the Lakers are in trouble because they've lost 2 out of the last 3 games, and they're not necessarily getting better. If anything, people might be onto something with the whole Rich Paul thing. I don't know. I can't defend Rich. All I'm going to say is that was the worst time for him to say it, for sure. But very disappointing with this loss tonight. We're going to get right into it, man. And it's just one of those things where you wish it didn't happen, man. We didn't come out here ready. The Spurs did. They used their athleticism, their speed. They used everything against us, and the Lakers just look lethargic, man. And Austin Reaves, I don't know what's wrong with him, but that's back-to-back games where he has a shitty game. So I'm a little bit concerned about him. But we do got a super chat here. Let me go ahead and celebrate that.
Oh, DTLF thanks you for the super chat.
Thank you so much. TW Money said, DTLF, what is happening? This might be the worst game of the year. Did Rich Paul's comment divide the team? 0 heart, 0 effort, and JJ made no adjustments. I'm honestly tired of LeBron James. What about you? Well, I don't blame this on LeBron James unless he directly comes out and if they ask him any questions, doesn't refute it. I think Rich Paul is his own man, but it's guilty by association, right? Clearly, it's going to have some repercussions because it's not a good look for your agent to be talking about you like that. Austin didn't look good. Austin didn't even look interested, if I'm being honest. He was just jacking up shots and everything, but it's not an excuse for Austin to have the poor game he did. Right? Austin was 6 for 16 from the field for only 15 points. We're talking about somebody who averages 28 points per game. That's back-to-back crappy games that he has had. Luka had 35 points, but it wasn't a good game. 11 for 24 from the field. He got to the free throw line 14 times and only made 10 of them. He did have 8 assists. 3 turnovers, though, man. Those that were costly. And LeBron with 19, 7 for 14, a little bit more efficient with 15 rebounds, 8 assists. Again, 3 turnovers. All 3 of our stars had 3 turnovers. I don't know if this has anything to do with Rich Paul. Only time will tell. If we continue to play like this, then, yeah, I'm going to have to blame Rich Paul for having poor taste. I'm going to start calling him Poor Paul. I'm going to start calling this man Poor Paul. Not Rich Paul, because that was very poor taste to him to come out like that. And at this time, man. But all in all, man, this game, I'm very displeased with a lot of the players on the Lakers. First and foremost, let's break it down. Yeah, LeBron had a good game. He even had a poster dunk. The effort was there, but, again, LeBron can only do so much. Rui, only 8 points, 3 for 4 from the field, but only 1 rebound. Bothers me to my core. His defense was an atrocity, right? Atrocity. Jake LaRavia was a minus 25 on the plus-minus, okay? He had 0 points. Only 1 assist, a turnover, and a steal, and he was minus 25. That's ridiculous. All right. D-Row didn't play but 1 minute, and I thought this was a golden opportunity for the head coach to plug in some of the youth to try to match up against what they're doing over there, but he did it, unfortunately. I thought this was a golden opportunity to do some things here. And by the way, Marcus Smart had 26 points off the bench. He was absolutely the best player for us on the court. Forget about the stats. He was the best player for us on the court tonight. He was the only one in the plus 2. He was the highest plus minus. He went crazy. 8 for 14 from the field. He also played some solid defense in spurts, even ripping De'Aaron Fox a couple of times. But one player is just not good enough. Everybody has to buy in defensively. They're not doing it. Gabe Vincent, a bagel again in 14 minutes. 0 for 1 from the field. 0 assists, 0 anything. Everything, a bagel. Minus 7. Should be a lot more of the minuses. Every time he was out there, bad things happened. I'm sick of Gabe Vincent. I don't know about you guys, but he needs to get off of this team. He gets cooked consistently. Every time we made a run, they attack Gabe Vincent. Him and Rui defensively stink, man. This team's defense has to get a lot better. Everybody's saying Trey Rui, by the way. Rui, if he's not giving you scoring, he's not giving you much. That's the only problem I have with Rui, right? So, yeah, I don't know about Rui. But one thing I do know is that I didn't appreciate the way that the Lakers came out with this lethargic effort, man. And Wemby didn't even play. That's embarrassing. In our own house, they really didn't give the crowd nothing to cheer for till the very end when we cut it into single digits and then they made a counter run. Credit to the Spurs. Excuse me. Under the weather, guys. Just bear with me. But credit to the Spurs for every time that we made a clutch three or a bucket, they would call a timeout, and they would counter us. They would counter punches. Very well coached. Did a great job. I think JJ needs to take pages out of that coach because the adjustments that coach was making on the fly were spectacular. JJ, on the other hand, refuses to play Vando. Didn't play much of a Dude Thero, which I thought this would have been a perfect game to throw him out there to try to make it scrappy. Didn't play Nick Smith Jr., who I think is already miles better than the current version of Gabe Vincent. And just it was bad. My guy Logan, appreciate you, bro. He said free throws were a problem, but we need more production. Well, that's just the thing. And the players are going to swallow the whistle. We have to learn how to play through contact, right? And we have to learn how to play in spite of the lack of free throws, you know. So for sure, I know Lakers girl. It was a, you know, it was devastating for sure. She said sabotage. That's it. That's all. Yeah, Rich Paul really left a really poor taste in everybody's mouth, and we start struggling from here on out. The pitchforks are coming out for Rich Paul. I promise you, Laker fans will not forgive him. They'll run him out of town. So we were having a phenomenal season, and if we start playing like this lethargic and disconnected, we didn't look together tonight, if I'm being honest. I'm not going to go so far as to say this was because of Rich Paul already, the Rich Paul effect, but if we keep having these type of games, then it's going to have an effect on the chemistry for sure. They just didn't show up tonight. Yeah, but I think it culminates to a lot of things, right, Strig? I think they didn't show up tonight. They didn't play together tonight. I don't see them, you know, having the fun time they were having just a couple of games back right now. And we need to get back to having fun and playing smart, intelligent basketball, right? Hey, long live Playback Lakers Ave. Hey, my brother, appreciate you, man. We will be live on Playback Tonight gaming for the second to last time. The last time will be tomorrow. But this was the last Laker game. I'm going to get from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys, man. You guys made that community what it was. And we will now carry that to my second channel, Primetime. But truly, truly appreciate it, man. Everything was awesome. Dan Rich Paul comments through Reaves off. Appreciate you, man. He can't. I'll say this. It definitely has potential to throw off the chemistry of this team for sure. But he can't be that soft that some one man's comments is going to make you play like crap. There's a lot of opinions out there, and he needs to put on his big boy pants and go to work, man. You got a contract extension pending on all of it, pending on all of it. So we're going to need him to put, like I said, put on your big boy pants and go to work, fam. That's what he needs to do. Appreciate the super chat. Let's see. Dan, Reaves' defense is what I'm concerned about. They're putting him in every action. Is killing us. Reaves' defense, Gabe's defense, Rui's defense. This team has a lot of holes as far as defensively goes, and we could definitely use another 3-and-D wing. Another backup big as well, because that guy Cormet was cooking us. I mean, there's a lot of things, but you're right. Reaves, for me, the effort wasn't there. It wasn't there tonight, and I see much better from Reaves for sure. We must see a lot better from Reaves. Keep hitting the like button, because if we get a certain amount of likes, I will turn on the phone lines for sure. My boy Lakers app says, when we going to play Vando? Shake my head. What has Jake proven over Vando? That's a great point. Again, I don't understand what Vando did to get all of his minutes revoked. I really don't get that. That truly bothers me, and I understand that he can't shoot, but neither can Gabe. He was 0 for 1 tonight. One thing Vando will bring you is effort, energy, rebounding, defense, and he's a disruptor. We've seen Vando shut down star players in the past. How are you going to just throw that to the back of the toolbox and not use it? It's really disparaging for him, for his trade value, for everything. If you don't want him, at least let him play so he could work up his trade value. At least, right? Yo, Gabe really has to go. I agree. Gabe really has to go, man. Every time he's out there, bad things happen. Matter of fact, last time we went on a streak, a lot of win streak was when Gabe was injured. And I'm not going to wish injury on nobody, but I do wish trade on Gabe. All right, I do wish trade for sure. Appreciate you, TW Money said DTL, if we played better without LeBron James, ball moved more. Again, it's not LeBron who's the problem. I thought LeBron, a lot of times when he was out there, good things were happening, good actions and everything. It's so we have to gel again all over again. Now, for whatever reason, we're not clicking, whatever the reason is. Marcus Smart came back. We should have got better defensively. Instead, we got worse. Okay, we got worse. Check this out. We came out and we gave up 39 in the first quarter to the San Antonio Spurs. Then we gave up 31 in the second, then 34 in the third, and then 28 in the fourth. The only quarter we won was the fourth quarter, and it just wasn't good enough. 28-32, the fourth quarter. So the Lakers defense has to be better, and that's on the coaching staff to get these guys prepared, maybe play a better rotation. You know, all of that. Yeah, get Gabe Vincent far away from my favorite team, man. And we gotta stop going after guards from Miami. It's not working out. All right, it's not working out. We look so uninterested, basically going through the motions. I'm saying I really hope the Rich Paul stuff didn't have an impact because that would mean mentally we are weaker than I thought. We have to be better. There's no excuse for that. The whole starting five plays no defense, and that's a problem. Remember, I said Marcus Smart should be inserted in there maybe for Rui or for Austin or somebody. I've been saying this for a while, but again, we'll see how stubborn this coaching staff can be and then when eventually and if eventually they make stuff happen. Marcus Smart should be in the starting lineup. Yep, just said that. Exactly. Let's see. So do we need Giannis for Reaves? I mean, I said it the other day. As much as it would hurt me, of course you got to do that if you're the Lakers. Always. 10 times out of 10. Same thing I said when we love the young core for the Lakers when we have Brandon Ingram and all those guys. And I said, yes, for Anthony Davis's certain moves lead to championships. And that would be one of them, right? Assuming everything clicks, right? As long as we play Reaves and Gabe, and at the same time, we are going to get outscored, period. Facts. And again, that's on the coaching staff. They got to find better combinations to throw out there because who does it, right? You're going really small, and then we're playing against an athletic, shifty. Again, credit to the Spurs. They are awesome, man. The team they have built over there, look at this. Harrison Barnes, 16 points. Luke Cornett, 10 points, 8 rebounds, and a block. Okay, De'Aaron Fox, 20 points. He also had 3 assists and 2 steals. Devin Vassell, 8 points. 30 for Stephon Castle. He absolutely cooked us, right? 30 for Stephon Castle. 17 for Keldon Johnson. 16 for Julian Shinpenny. And then Dylan Harper, their rookie, came off the bench with 13. Nobody on our bench outside of Marcus Smart really contributed like that. Then Rui only with 8 points, single digits. It's just not going to be enough, especially if you're giving up 130-plus points. It's not going to be enough, right? He said, props to Castle, though. I hope he makes the 2028 Olympic team. They have a really, really fun team over there, and it's really scary with Wemby, right? And they're trying to land Giannis, I believe, right? From what I heard with my source, they're very active in trade conversations, even though they say they don't want to give up certain players. It's called playing hardball, so eventually somebody's going to budge, right? Dan, back when the Lakers had Dale Harris, he wouldn't play Kobe. Jerry West traded the players playing in front of Kobe. Rob needs to trade the guys playing in front of the youth. Gabe Vincent comes to mind. And if you're not going to use Vandal, then might as well trade him too. I agree. Bro, the Lakers need a true athletic shooting guard until that's addressed and get the on the boards with the defense. They're not a championship level. Hell, even Darvin Ham had us top 5 defense and got us to the Western Conference Finals. I'll give Darvin Ham credit as well as Frank Vogel. They definitely used our tools, our players like Vandal properly. Credit to that. But offensively, man, we were in a rut with those guys. Snitch ball. Yeah, man. Hey, we can run with the narrative now. Just like he's talking, we're going to talk. You know, the same way he's talking, we're going to talk. And all I know is that since that podcast came out, this was one of the worst games of the year for sure, especially with our big 3. He said, Austin Reaves is nice, but he's better suited for another team. Can't have 2 non-athletic guards in our backcourt. I mean, that's definitely an opinion, but that wasn't a problem for most of the season. It's only starting to become a problem now, and it's only been a couple of games of him having a bad game. If the next game he comes out bad, then we'll have that conversation. But I think he's going to break out the next game. I don't like the way he's played the last 2 games, not just this one. Last game, they used the excuse that he didn't have his legs. No excuses. You got to play better. This game, he had no excuses because he's had a couple of days off. So just got to get back to it. We need to address the simple fact that Rob Pelinka doesn't know how to construct a roster. You think so, sis? I mean, up until tonight, we were still the 2nd seed in the West, which means we're pretty damn good. Now, there's obviously levels to it, and the Thunder have a cheat code because they got that trade they got with the Clippers, and that has set them up for now and for the future, right? But at the end of the day, I will say I don't think the Lakers are far back. I think if they make a move, let's just go say they go out and they get somebody like Trey Murphy III, or they get Herb Jones, somebody like that, that's going to help us tremendously. But, of course, the coaching staff still needs to be able to utilize them properly, right? Like, we can have the talent, and it's just not being utilized, and that's a huge problem for me. Luka and LeBron have no chemistry, Dan, and they are being cordial with each other, but I sense there's a disconnect between them. You could be right, and only time will tell because the truth always gets revealed, right? The truth will get revealed. I'm sure LeBron or Rich Paul or somebody will say something like that in a podcast. If that happens, then I'll believe it. Till now, I'm just going to go with the fact that we had an off night and we got to play better. But, 17-7 still pretty good. And we got a couple of days off here, and hopefully they come back a lot better than the way they did tonight, man, because the way they played like crap tonight, it wasn't fun to watch until the fourth quarter, right? We keep putting people in the free throw line. That's a big problem. All right, we got another super chat. Let's go.
Look at the stars. All the people that have super chatted have contributed to the success of this channel.
Really?
Yes. And what's best, we will reach the moon one day if they continue such contributions. Your super chats are always appreciated. Thank you.
My guys, Rich was the wrong messenger, but his comments about us not being a contender despite the record was facts. Talking straight hoops, we are horrible when it comes to athletic teams. But let's be honest. He singled out who he wanted to single out, all right, which is Austin Reaves. But at his age, LeBron is not a great defender either. Granted, he had 2 chase down blocks today. Phenomenal. He had a poster dunk that had me going crazy. Phenomenal. But at this stage, LeBron, both Luka and Austin, if you're going to have them all out there, you got Ayton. You can't have Rui there because Rui's not a good defender. You have to plug in at least 2 defenders. Vandal, if I'm being honest, would have been a better starter than Rui. Then you have Rui coming off the bench. A lot of what we have could be solved within the roster, right? It's not that we have bad roster construction. It's that we have the depth, and we have seen flashes from guys like Nick Smith, Thero, that to have this athleticism and this youth, but they're not being utilized. It's either the coach doesn't trust him or the coach is bipolar, because he'll play him one game for 20 minutes and the next game he won't play him no minutes. And that's really hard for a team to find an identity if that continues to happen. You see what I'm saying? So although you're right, the message was semi-true. I don't think that we're not a contender. I think we're a contender, but there's a difference between a contender and a championship favorite. The Thunder are running away with the NBA, and they're going to run away with the championship at this rate. Teams have to be willing to make trades and to improve in areas, and coaches have to be willing to make adjustments and to improve in certain areas. I've been saying it. As much as I like Rui, I don't like him starting. I'd rather have Marcus Smart there or Vando or a defensive presence, okay? And it's not because I don't like Rui. It's because he doesn't fit alongside Austin, LeBron, and Luka. Those are 3 really, at LeBron's age, non-defensive players. They're going to play defense in spurts. Like you'll see Luka get a steal here and there. You'll see Austin take a charge here and there. You'll see LeBron have a chase down block here and there. But it's not something I'm expecting throughout the course of the entire game, right? It's not something that's sustainable. You're going to see these guys get beat off the dribble more times than not. If you only got 1 good defender in the starting lineup with DeAndre Ayton, that's why we gave up the biggest quarter in the first quarter with 39, right? And then our bench has to be better. So, yeah, there does need to be made moves. I'm confident the Lakers will be very active. I'm hearing they're already active. So, Jose said, Ayton, 0 effort, no rebounding, we need a backup big. I've been saying this since the season started. It's not because of Ayton's effort. It's just that certain matchups are not going to favor him. And Jackson Hayes is too thin, man. He was getting shoved around today. Some of those should have been called foul calls, and the refs were egregious, but we cannot rely on the refs. This is playoff atmosphere. This is what it's going to look like in the postseason. That's why I like the in-season tournament. We get a little bit of a glimpse. Tamika said it's ridiculous not to play Vando when our defense is like this. I don't get it. That's the coaching staff being stubborn. I like JJ's potential, but I don't like the stubbornness. He's rubbing me the wrong way with that. He was stubborn last year in the playoffs, and what happened? We got gentlemen swept, right? Spurs and OKC have everything the Lakers are weak against. It's simply a bad matchup for us. It is, but see, we need to get better in those departments. We can't just say it's a bad matchup and hope for a better one. If you want to come out of the West, you're going to have to run through everybody. And so right now, on paper, it looks like it'll be the Thunder coming out of the West. However, a lot can change. A lot can change from here until the postseason. A lot. And from here until the trade deadline. And it will change. I believe it will. Week off is better. Have his legs after this. Yeah, man. It is what it is, man. JJ Redick pointed out that the Spurs played a similar defense to what the Suns showed last week, keeping a big Cormet at the rim and a deep drop, as the Suns did with Williams, not putting 2 on the ball, encouraging a non-deep paint contested 2s to Doncic and Reaves. They did a good job. So basically what you're telling me, JJ, is they made a good adjustment to you and you weren't ready for it. That means you got to Put on your big boy pants and get to work. Put on your hard hat and figure out a way to solve this. You get paid for this. Not to make an analogy, not to look at what happened, but you get paid for improvements, right? Yeah, we'll see, man. We will for sure see. My guy Brian, the Spurs fan. As a Spurs fan, I want to say you guys have nothing to be ashamed of. You guys are an iconic, and I hope you guys do win a championship if my Spurs get knocked out. The Lakers are a likable team. Salute, brother. Salute to you, man. And thank you for your service. I see that you're a veteran. Yeah, I like the Spurs too, just not tonight. But I definitely respect what you guys are building there. Those three guards, man. That's a three-headed guard monsters. Dylan Harper, okay, Castle, and De'Aaron Fox. They're going to be really shifty and hard to stop. And then you got wings like Keldon Johnson. You got all this athleticism. And then you get Wemby, of course, the monster in the middle. So that team feels like it's one piece away from becoming a true contender, and we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Let's see. Isaiah. Isaiah said, looks like Reaves too, a great player, but not the second player on any championship team. I don't think so, man. I think he's in a little mini slump, and it happens. We've seen LeBron go through a little mini slump when he first came back. We didn't see Luka have a bad game or two this season. It happens, right? Austin is the 28-point-per-game scorer. He is. He's given us a big enough sample size through 20-plus games that we know that's who he's going to be. However, whatever he's going through right now, he needs to snap out of it because this is his money contract year. In the playoffs, he's going to need to be, A1 in the playoffs. We're going to need him to show up. This was playoff atmosphere. So, I'm not concerned right now, but if he's doing this in the playoffs, then I'm really concerned. Then I'm really, really concerned. And again, people ask me if I would trade for Giannis for Austin, and I said yes, because Giannis is a generational talent who could do it on both ends. There's levels to this, right? As good as Austin's been, he's been an all-star, sometimes even looking like a superstar. Giannis can kick it into a different gear, man, that he's led a team to a championship. So anytime you got those type of players, you got to consider it. Well, again, I don't think we're the favorites to land them or none of that, right? None of that. Once again, Lakers proven they can't handle size and athleticism. It ain't no secret. And now teams are going to start being more physical with us. The team tests my mental sanity at times. We have to be patient with this team, y'all. We have to be patient with this team. I'm telling y'all right now. We got to be patient with this team. My bad. There's a spider over here. I'll get it afterwards. It's hanging out from the spider web. We got to be very patient. Appreciate you, T. Thank you. Luka and Austin get cooked defensively, but it's a momentum killer when the opposition team hunts Austin. We got to find ways to disguise these players, period. The same way Curry was disguised in the past. The same way. For Austin, it's not for lack of effort, but switches, they do hunt him on switches because there's bigger guards out there for sure. But I think they'll figure it out, man. At the end of the day, we have less than 10 losses, okay? And we're still 10 games over 500. They got to figure it out. I'm not happy with what Rich Paul said, but it shouldn't have that deep of an impact. If it does, now I'm concerned about the Lakers' mental fortitude moving forward. They got to be stronger than Rich Paul breaking us, right? We got to be stronger than that, for sure. She said, what I meant by bad roster construction is we always have guys who can't shoot but can't defend, or guys who play defense and don't shoot. It's always black and white and no shades of gray. That's a fair point. I can't argue that. For me, though, it's more so not everybody in the NBA has 5 players who can shoot and play defense, right? The best teams do, though, like the Thunder. But I just think it's the way we're utilizing them. For example, there's some dead weight. Gabe is dead weight on his roster. Sorry to say it, but Bronny James, if he's not going to play, he's dead weight on the roster. Anybody who doesn't play, Vando, if he doesn't play, is dead weight on the roster. And these are guys that are making big money. Same thing with the white boy. I already forgot his name, Maxi Kleber. He doesn't play much. He's dead weight on the roster. We have too many guys making more than $10 million that aren't playing. And so I'll add to your point, and I'll say it's not poor roster construction, it's misutilization. And if you are using them and they're not working, then you got to trade them. That's why I say trade Gabe ASAP. Same thing with Dalton. We're not using him. We got to trade him and turn it into pieces that, the coaching staff can actually trust. Because I think Vander would have done a tremendous job in this game in a couple of games we lost. Right? It's just they don't want to use him for whatever reason. They don't like defense. They love offense more. And I don't like that at all. But gotta cope with it. It is what it is, right? Isaiah Jordan said Vando should not be in the doghouse. I agree with that. I don't think he did anything that bad besides miss a couple of shots to be in that doghouse. But again, you understand that coaches want teams to take the shape of their play style. Remember, JJ was a spot-up shooter. He was a knockdown shooter. And so when he sees players like Vando, it rubs him the wrong way. Like, nah, you had all summer to work on your jumper, and you didn't. Or at least it didn't work, whatever you worked on. And so now you got to ride the pine. I don't like being stubborn like that because there's always minutes. There's spare time you could throw him out there. He could actually give you some good production, right? He could. He could definitely give the Lakers some good production. You mean to tell me Vando wouldn't have made an impact tonight? Nah, man. The problem with that is that it shifts the blame to Rob onto JJ. I blame both. I think JJ needs to utilize players better, and I also think Rob needs to, like Tara said, the roster construction could be a little bit better. And I love the summer they had, but but Jake all of a sudden can't shoot, right? Vando isn't playing. Like the summer we had was going to be factored with all these guys participating, and Vando's is just a pedestrian right now, and so that's on JJ. That's not necessarily on Rob. Now Rob does need to make stuff happen and turn it over, and make sure that But yeah, we will. We'll see. We'll see what Rob does. And Rob is on the hot seat. For everybody saying, from my boy DJ Activist said, hold Rob accountable, make the moves. 21 games in, we know what we need now. And that's the beauty of this all. These ass whippings that we're taking at home, guess who's there in the front of the seats? Mark Walter. You see how Mark Walter operates with the Dodgers. I doubt he's going to allow this team just to go into the postseason with this exact roster. I'm expecting a move or two. Now I'll be covering the trade deadline extensively. How impactful these moves are going to be? Are they going to be blockbusters? Are they going to be side deals, role players? TBD, to be determined. But one thing I do know about Mark Walter is he's a grand slam hitter, not a home run hitter. Grand slam hitter. Y'all see the pitcher, the closer, the reliever that we just signed for the Dodgers. So I think this guy is looking for the grand slam hit, and that might be Giannis. That might be somebody else. We're going to see. Trade seasons can't come here quick enough. But for now, we got to work with what we have because some players aren't even trade eligible yet, right? So you really start seeing trades happen even more after January 15 when everybody becomes trade eligible, right? The LeBron poster on Cornet was the highlight of the night for me, bro. That was insane. That was nuts. Me and D3 were over there. We're going crazy over there, bro. We're going crazy on playback because I didn't expect him to do that. Like, I didn't expect LeBron to go downhill and be able to still put somebody on a poster like, damn, bro, you're 41. And he's doing it. So I think he still got a little bit left in the tank. Trade season opens up December 15 generally. Yes, but remember, there's a couple of players that won't be trade eligible till after January. And it'll get really interesting because again, we got a grand slam hitter. That's one thing I think a lot of fans are underestimating. We have a grand slam hitter here as the new owner of the Lakers. He's official. He got sworn in last month. He's official, and so we're going to see exactly what he's all about starting with this trade deadline. We might not see the biggest splash yet until maybe the summer or maybe a summer away, but he's just gauging this team right now. And it's good that we're taking these L's early. That way we can see exactly what's about to happen, And you never know, man. You never know what happens. You never know who can get dealt. You're absolutely right, Dan. Thank you, sis. She said Mark Walter didn't spend $10 billion just to sit in the front row. And oh man, I can't even read the last part. That's funny. You're absolutely right, though. Yeah, no, Mark Walter didn't come here for the show. He came here for the chips, right? And we'll see. Again, we got to be very strategic. New front office, well, same front office technically, but not really because we got somebody else pulling the strings now. And we're going to see exactly what happens. And I'm not opposed to anything. I trust this new ownership group. They have led the Dodgers to 3 out of the last 6 World Series. So Mark trading AR for Giannis. It could happen, man. Anything's possible. I do not put it out of the reach of Mark Walter, man. What he has done with the Dodgers, none short of spectacular. Say the last part there, I'm joking. Oh, man, no, I can't. Maybe tonight during late night gaming, man. Maybe tonight, but the kids are still up, so I'm not going to say it. Much as I'd love to. That was hilarious. If I'm Mark Walter fires Rob Pelinka, I know Jeannie Buss will tell Mark Walter not to fire Rob. Mark Walter is in charge, man. No matter what. Jonah, we're going to see exactly what happens and how we moving forward. But one thing's for sure, man, tonight was very disappointing. The Lakers do get eliminated from the in-season tournament, which isn't the big deal, but, you know, it does hurt us a little bit in the standings. It's lost tonight. Marcus Smart was the silver lining, man. He went 8 for 13, made me look like a genius on stream because I was just saying to my friend D Free that Marcus Smart can shoot. And yeah, I mean, it was nice that he got hot at the right time, but we fell to the Spurs again. We let them score 132 to 119. That's not good. Without Wemby, you know, our perimeter defense absolutely collapsed and it was exploited. That's been a season-long weakness. We got to improve that for sure. Marcus Smart could go a long way. You know, our rebounding and second chance points is the Spurs continue to dominate the boards, man. 50 to 43, and that's without Wemby. So again, man, that Cormet guy was huge, and then there was no scoring balance for us. You know, 7 Spurs players scored into double figures, you know, and contributed across the roster. You know, we relied heavily on Luka and LeBron and Austin, and they didn't get us nowhere, unfortunately. So depth again. And I think the Lakers, I told you guys, we got to start kicking this habit of starting off slow and thinking we can pick it up at any time because it's going to catch us slipping. And that's exactly what happened tonight. I don't like bad habits. We got to kick those to the curb. We got to come out with quicker start. All right, so Mark just got Diaz for the Dodgers. He needs to start cooking for the Lake Show. He will, man. I have no doubt that Mark Walter will be heavily involved around the trade deadline. I'm telling you, after January, that's when everybody becomes trade eligible. December 15, most contracts, but after January, a lot of these contracts become trade eligible, and stuff's going to get really good. Again, it was the final Lakers stream for Playback TV, but I will be live tonight gaming with the Ghost Squad over there for tonight and for tomorrow night. Final 2 nights of streaming there. And then eventually we're going to transition on Friday to Primetime TV. So, you know, all the in-Laker game coverage during the game reactions are going to be there now instead of playback. So make sure you guys follow over there. Appreciate you, Kimiko, for reminding us and posting the link. Makes it easy. The lack of youth and athleticism is a direct result of 2 horrible draft picks, Jalen Hood-Shafino and Dalton Connect. Missed opportunities, man. But here's the thing. I don't even think it's the lack of youth. Athleticism, I can give you that. We got athletes like Adu Thero. Jackson Hayes is the most explosive center in the league. So I think we generalize those 2 things. We're still one of the youngest teams. The oldest player we got is LeBron. You remove LeBron from the equation, and all of a sudden you look extremely young, right? So it's not youth that's bothering us. I think it's the utility of certain players and the fact that we have so much dead weight on the roster. Like I'm talking about Gabe unplayable. We're doing better when he was hurt. I hate to say that because you hate to wish injury upon anybody, but we're doing much better when Gabe Vincent was injured. Vando is at least getting some minutes, right? We got Adu Thero, Nick Smith Jr., Kobe Buffkin killing in the G League. Call him up, right? They got to be smarter with the rotations. And if they're not going to use players like Gabe, Vando, etc., trade them. Maxi Kleber, what is he doing? What is Maxi Kleber? What has he done? He looked good for like 1.5 games for Lakers, and he's hurt again, right? So players like that, you got to find a way, even if it means offloading a little bit of draft capital, you got to find a way to you know, make that a usable or a good utility roster spot where you can go to in nights like this. When we're getting cooked, you got to go to those guys. Honestly, I thought this would have been a good game for Vando, for Adu Thero, for Nick Smith Jr. You know, some of these younger pieces to come out here and do some damage. Would have been nice. But again, man, this game right here is going to be insane, man. Like the Thunder versus the Spurs is going to be fun to watch. I'm not going to lie to y'all. That'll be interesting on Saturday. But I wish it was Lakers versus Thunder. That would have been a little key matchup. But if we can't even get past the Spurs, then we were going to get blown out by the Thunder. That's the truth. So again, the Lakers have a ways to go with their rotation, with their chemistry, and with their trades. And again, there's a difference between being a contender, being a championship favorite. The Thunder are up here. Everybody else is down here, including our Lakers. We gotta close the gap before the playoffs start. And we want to be taken serious, right? Jonah Stacy says Mark Walter bought 2 guys in, so I can't wait to see who we draft in 2026. This year's draft, 2026, is going to be strong. He needs to bring me in. How right have I been about a lot of these picks, man? A lot of these players, I always call on their name and they end up panning out. He needs to bring me in, man. I work for him for free. You don't got to pay me, Mark. Just give me a call, man. Just give me a call, Mark. No, but in all seriousness, I am looking forward to the new regime, and I think we already kind of started seeing a little bit of it in the last offseason. I think Mark had a lot to do with that. So if that's indicative of what's coming in the future, I'm extremely excited for it, right? I think we all are. We all got to be excited for it, right? But all in all, man, again, we're gonna talk about tonight and how we can improve for tonight from tonight. Because again, giving up 132 in your home is nasty work, man. That pace, they talk about athleticism and youth. We struggle with speed. Okay, what the Spurs did all night tonight was just attack the paint, collapse the defense, kick it out for open threes, smack every single three they could, even contested ones, and then finish at the basket with the and ones. They did it all night. And give credit to their 3-guard lineup. They're going to be really tough for anybody to stop, but especially us. Outside of DeAndre Ayton, we don't have much rim protection. We don't have a lot of guys that can rotate quickly to cut off the drives, right? At least the guys we have aren't playing like Vando. So, we got to figure it out, man. I agree there's a lot of dead weight on the roster. I feel like giving up too easily on Dalton Connect. He has been good size and can shoot the ball. Dalton just does not defend. So if you can mix Dalton Connect with Vando, it'd be the perfect player, but we can't. Dalton just shoots, and when he's not shooting good, he's irrelevant. And he doesn't defend. He defends really poorly, so it's almost unplayable. And then Vando, he can't shoot to save his life. He misses layups. He's breaking layups, man. He's out here looking like Prime Westbrook, just breaking layups. And so I'll tell you, man, it's really tough because I think this said this the best. Tara said it. We either have one thing or the other. But for me, if you're the coaching staff, you got to mix it in there, a little bit of both. You can't have too much of offense or too much of defense. You got to be a mixture. This is why I believe in starting Marcus Smart alongside LeBron, Austin, Luka, and DeAndre Ayton. I believe in that. I believe in it. Because Rui, as good as he's been offensively, defensively, sometimes he is an absolute cone. Absolute cone. And that's not going to help anybody, right, defensively. And we need help, especially with some of those guys get beat off the perimeter, right? If you don't want to start him, I had already suggested since the season started, maybe Vando gets to start, but doesn't seem like that's going to happen, right? Again, quick recap, guys. Luka with 35, 5, and 8. LeBron with 19 points, 15 rebounds, 8 assists. Marcus Smart, 26 tonight, 8 for Rui, 15 for Austin. DeAndre with 11. And Gabe and Jake LaRavia put up bagels. Again, underlining that we could also use some production coming off the bench. So, again, whether that's a change in the starting lineup or whatever, there needs to be changes, whether it's within the roster or from without the roster, right? And I think that's on everybody involved. I'm not letting nobody off the hook. Rob Pelinka, Mark Walter, JJ Redick, Nate McMillan, they all get on it. They're all on the hook for improving this roster. This team showed us that they can perform, right? They've won 17 games thus far. That's a lot more than a lot of other teams in the West. But it's just not good enough. We don't care about regular season. We're more concerned about the postseason. That's why you see Laker fans starting to panic right now. The beauty of our record is we have lots of wiggle room in case of bad games like this, and it makes moves without panicking and getting fleeced. I agree, D Prince. That is a good point. That is a good point, man. Hey, Lakers, I appreciate you, bro. Yeah, let's get the likes up for sure, man. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, bro. Thank you so much. And we actually have 338 viewers in here because we got multiple platforms from Twitter and Kick as well. So credit to all you guys. Appreciate you guys in here. But yes, you're absolutely right, bro. Appreciate you. Keep hitting that like button. And people are saying that Nikola Jokic is joining the Lakers once his contract is up with the Nuggets. No comment, man. I don't want to talk about Nikola Jokic. He's such a boring individual on and off the court, and I'm good. I'm good off of it. If it happens, it happens. We'll embrace it then. It's too far away, I want to talk about things that are too far away. I want to focus on this season. It's been a good season overall so far. I know it's a bad loss tonight, but overall, it's been a pretty good season. So that's what I want to keep our focus on. That's what I want to talk about as far as that goes, man. I'm not worried about Jokic or whoever from the future, right? Do you think the Lakers tank tonight to avoid OKC again? No. I think the Lakers, for whatever reason, came out flat-footed. And it's been a trend that's been happening every time the Lakers have a couple of games off. So I'm concerned about our next game, actually. But the Lakers have not lost all season back-to-backs. That's the good news. So we should bounce back nicely the next game, hopefully. But, it leaves us with a bad taste in our mouth. We exit the in-season tournament. It could have been fun to match up, so we'll see what happens, man, at the end of the day. Dan, we have to trade for Rob Williams from Portland. That'll be a nice little backup pickup for sure. He said, Dan, I've been saying this since the preseason. The Lakers are starting too many offensive-only players. Got to mix it up. I agree, Tyke. I agree. And I actually thought that that's what JJ was going to do this season. But for whatever reason, he just decided to go all offense. I mean, it makes sense. JJ throughout his career was all offense, right? Don't tell me we got another Steve Kerr over here who doesn't care about defense like that outside of Draymond Green, right? But yeah, man, we got to do better, man. Simply put, this Laker team is much better than what it showed tonight. I know that for a fact, right? We shot what we shoot from the field tonight. We shot 49% from the field and still couldn't get the win. That's an okay shooting percentage. That's an okay shooting percentage. We shot 43% from beyond the arc. You know, we had 23 free throws. We gave up 36, man. They got way more than us. So that means they were more physical and they got to the rim more. Rebounds, we got our rebounder, 50 to 43. We lost that battle. Assist, we actually won that battle, surprisingly. All right. Steals, they whooped. They got 9 steals to our 4 steals, right? And in spite of that, we only had 11 turnovers. But, again, Lakers just got to do better, man. The largest lead for the Spurs was 24. Our largest lead was 6. But I don't know if you guys noticed, the Lakers were playing good. We had a 6-point lead, and then Gabe Vincent came out, and we went down by a lot, double digits. So I still think there's some players that just make us a lot worse, and Gabe Vincent is one of them. Okay, forget about the plus minus. If you watch the game, you see that he's constantly getting hunted on defense, and he doesn't give us anything offensively. At least Austin, he also gets hunted on defense, but he gives us a lot of offensive playmaking. Not tonight, with the exception of tonight and the previous game. But like I said, man, excuses for Gabe. He's giving you nothing. I don't know what happened to Miami Heat, Gabe, but we got to get better, man. Anyways, guys, I want to say thank you so much, guys, to everybody that was with me on playback tonight for the final Lakers game covered over there. And I can't wait to continue to bring that coverage to Primetime TV. Again, Kimiko, if you will one more time blast that link in the chat for the second channel where all the game coverage and gaming and all that is going to go to. And then, again, we're going to have quite some time off. But I will be covering some other things here on this main channel, all right? So keep it locked right here. Make sure you guys turn on the post noti bell and hit that like button. And as well as I want to say thank you to Underdog, my sponsorship. It is my lone sponsorship. I'm no longer sponsored by the other one. What was it called? I forgot what it's called. Prize Picks. I was about to say Playback TV. No longer sponsored by Prize Picks, but this sponsorship right here has gone above and beyond, man. And right now, they still have the promo code DTLF, and that'll get you $75 with your first 5 deposit and play. All right, so keep it locked. The best daily sports fantasy app out there, Underdog. All right, promo code DTLF, and there it is. There's the link, guys. I want to see all you guys flock on over. If you guys followed me on Playback once upon a time, flock on over to Primetime TV because I'm gonna give you guys the best possible content during the games, and as well as other content. That's why I call it Primetime. It's not necessarily only basketball. It's a lot of stuff. So keep it locked, guys. And again, thank you to Kimiko, man. She made Playback what it was as well for me, just helping me out there, moderating, doing all the great stuff she does here, and we'll continue to do here and on my second channel, man. You guys are awesome. I'll say thank you guys so much to everybody, man. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful night. I know the end result wasn't what we liked. We're still going to take the celebration over for what Playback was, man, over to Playback for tonight and for tomorrow night. So keep it locked, guys. I will see you guys real soon, man. Have a great rest of your night, like I said.